Welcome back to the Million Dollar Body Podcast. I'm your host, Nate Palmer. I have the honor of sitting down today with Jeremy Jones, founder of Jones Media Publishing, an icon in the book publishing industry, especially for helping small business owners really establish a presence. Jeremy, thank you so much for being with us today. It's awesome.
Oh, thank you, Nate. I'm just honored to be here. Thank you very much.
Jeremy, can you really quickly start us off by telling us a little bit about what is Jones Media Publishing and how have you been able to help so many small business owners leverage their own knowledge base to create a brand new niche?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we are basically rated as the #1 book publisher in the state of Arizona. If you do a search on Google Maps for just book publisher in general in Arizona, we come up with the most ratings, the most reviews, the highest rated. And I think we've been able to do that because we have a very specific client that we work with. And that is, we work with coaches, consultants, subject matter experts, people that are an authority and an expert in their marketplace. And what we do is we help take all their expertise, and even if they're starting from scratch. And I've developed a program that works right alongside with Jones Media Publishing. It's called Authority Coach Blueprint. And it's basically to take an authority and an expert and help position them as an expert in the marketplace by walking them through the process of publishing an expert positioning, authority positioning book. And so I have an online virtual coaching program and book coaching program where we can take someone step by step by step of writing the book, publishing the book, promoting it to a #1 bestseller, and then have it basically a marketing process in place to use that book to get new speaking engagements, to get new clients, and it just really helps position them as an expert and an authority.
That is awesome. And I'm gonna step away just for a sec and say you've worked with some notable authors in the Phoenix area.
Yes.
But I got to say, man, working with you to create this book was so awesome. It was incredibly easy. You made my life so much like easier because navigating a book publishing process is not something I've ever done or had any designs on doing before. But I can't tell you what an awesome experience it was just publishing this book through you and your company, hitting bestseller in 3 categories, maintaining that. I sold over almost 1,000 books in 2018. Just awesome. So I really appreciate what you've been able to help me do with this book and the opportunities that I've gotten from now that I've been a published author and a best-selling author on Amazon.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And you're the type of person where you've got so much knowledge and so much expertise, and you're writing. You've got great writing ability, and we just help to basically hone that as we've helped to adjust that. And I know you're the type of person where you're always moving on to new things, but you can take advantage of that book that you have as a packaged product and utilize it in so many ways, as you know. I mean, we've had other authors as well that we've had books endorsed by Robert Kiyosaki, right on the back of the book, endorsed by Robert Kiyosaki. Jack Canfield from Chicken Soup from the Soul. I just got a proof in today. Dan Pink is our newest one where we have an endorsement. This one's called Stop Settling, Settle Smart, Rethinking Work-Life Balance, Redesign Your Busy Life, endorsed by Dan Pink.
That's awesome. That's a great
world-renowned author. So it's really exciting, not only just for our company, but for authors like yourself to be able to have a book that you can be really proud of. That's a really high publishing house level of quality. But as you know, Nate, and all of our clients, you own 100% of the rights to your book, and so you have a lot of flexibility with your marketing and what you can do there.
Yeah. It's so cool because a lot of authors and stuff talk about, I write a blog. I have this. I've always wanted to write a book.
Right.
But now having a book, something tangible that I can that's in my hand that I can show people and give to people. It's so great. And I just love the tangible aspect of having a hardbound book that is mine. It's my words. It's really fun. So,
right.
And then the business aspect of that also is a whole nother level too, going from, blog owner and author in that way to actually published author, best-selling author on Amazon.
Yeah, for sure. And many of our clients, because of the process that we've developed to help facilitate the whole thing, to not make it overwhelming, to make it a step-by-step process. Even Dana with this book here, she just told me, she said this book never would have happened without our process. And it's, it's not me doing it. It's us facilitating and helping make the process not overwhelming, because that's what stops a lot of experts is, you get started writing and then you have all these considerations of all the things that are involved, because there is a lot of things involved in getting a book published. And so we help make it not overwhelming and help facilitate the process, because you have a business to run. And so, we help make that process a lot more simple.
Yeah, and I really just appreciated how step-by-step you made it, because I'm the type of person who gets overwhelmed by complexity. Mm-hmm. You can give me one task at a time. That was very helpful for me in getting to the point of from conception to physical book. So awesome job. Can't recommend you enough. And just want to thank you so much for making that process awesome and easy for me. So
I appreciate that. It was so awesome working with you as well. And authentically telling you and all of the listeners here, your specific book is one of the books that I'm most proud of, because the content is so great. So
thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So Jeremy, also you in the last couple months have undergone a really amazing physical transformation as well.
For sure. Yep.
You've started working out more. You've changed your diet. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, for sure. So I've gone through an interesting evolution in how my business has grown. I'll tell just a little bit high level of my backstory for the listeners. I was in the United States Navy. I worked as an electrician on an aircraft carrier for about 4 years. I had kind of a vision of, I wanted to start my own business. I had no idea where to start. And so my plan was to go out of the Navy, which I was stationed near Seattle, move here to Phoenix. I enrolled in college, and my kind of passion, what I was interested in was graphic arts. And so I started doing graphic design work. I graduated with my bachelor's. I started working for a company and doing freelance work on the side. And over that period of time, I was always trying to figure out how to run my own business. Well, fast forward, not to get into that backstory too much, but the reason I'm telling you that is I was trying to make that transition from working for someone else with a part-time business to transitioning to full-time working for myself, and really had a hard time doing that, just balancing everything, kids and my wife and all of the other things that I've going on. And it wasn't until about 3 years ago that just from hiring coaches, just everything kind of clicked and came together. I figured out how to acquire clients for my business. And that was really transformational for me. And so 2017 was like the year that I was not only fully working for myself, that my business really started to take off. Did basically 6 figures for the first time. 2018 doubled the business. So the business is basically doubled in that period of time. The really tough thing, going to the health aspect, is the really tough thing was I had to put my health on pause for a little while because I just couldn't balance everything. And I think it was a blessing, but at the same time, I think it was a mistake, because it was really hard to not have the energy, the focus. I was starting to get overweight. Like I weighed more than I had ever weighed before, and basically felt terrible. I was trying to work all the time and build and grow my business, but sacrificed my health. And I think there probably were other areas I could have sacrificed rather than my health, but being as what it is, that's what I chose to do because of my schedule and everything. So speaking of health, I was about 25 to 30 pounds, weighing more than I wanted to, feeling really not great at all. And I got my business to the point where my wife and I both said, all right, we've taken a pause from, like, we didn't have a gym membership, anything. We think, all right, our business is a place where we can really, really focus on our health. We have the time availability to be able to do it. I had systems and automation in place in my business where I could take the focus to do that. And that's where I started working with you, Nate, doing virtual coaching, and put a really, really important focus on my health. And so over the period of about 90 days, I put an extreme focus. It was basically quarter 4 of 2018. I put just a major focus on my health, nutrition, fitness, everything. And that was a dramatic change for me. I lost about 25 pounds, and my energy just dramatically increased and just feel a whole lot better.
That's awesome, Jeremy. Congratulations, by the way, on dropping 25 pounds.
Yep.
You are such a hard worker. You're so consistent. You're doing a great job following up on all the stuff we've talked about. So I can't say give you enough credit for that because, like I said, I'm giving you a plan, but you're actually implementing that. So it's been so great. So how is that amplification of your energy and your focus had an effect on your business personally?
It's been incredible because I noticed the difference between, let's call it August, which is before the fourth quarter of the year, of feeling kind of drained in the middle of the day, eating a meal and just feeling terrible, starting to get it like 8:00 at night, just feeling like tired, like, why am I so tired? So, early in the evening, it seemed. I have a son that's about to be 10 years old. And so he's just like wild energy constantly all the time and trying to keep up with that. And then just losing focus with work stuff. So it's been a huge change of, I've even gotten to, which you taught me about, is the intermittent fasting has been great because I thought, taking a break from not eating plus working out, I thought, how is that going to work? And I've just found my energy levels and my focus has been dramatically changed by integrating, based on coaching with you and you learning about my situation and my schedule of how I can integrate that in. And just with the energy levels, it's really helped with my focus and having more energy to be able to devote to both family life and also business growth.
Dude, that's so powerful, Jeremy. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
What's maybe in the last, like, since August, what's the number one thing that you felt has given you the most bang for your buck, the best results, either fitness, nutrition wise?
I'd say it's got to be consistency of the exercise, having an exercise plan where I don't have to think about what the exercises are. I just have an exercise plan, which you helped me with. And then number two is the nutrition. I think there's a big illusion for a lot of people of what is healthy foods, what are healthy things to eat. And when I thought that I was eating something healthy, or I would just like eat something just because I was hungry, or stress is a big thing for me. If I feel stress, that my resistance is really low to eat the wrong things, and so I'll eat the wrong thing and then just feel terrible and regret eating that. And then I pay for it later too, that's when I started to get on this vicious cycle in the wrong direction. And I think one of the biggest things for me was the expectation of that I can be a, ideal weight, healthy and fit person. And when you think of I was thinking of the goal of, yes, I have my ideal weight in mind. It's like 25 pounds away from what I want. To think of losing 25 pounds is like this big thing. So to not think about the big goal, what I did personally, which I'll give you kind of as a tip for for everyone listening to this, is instead of thinking of 25 pounds is what I want to lose, this is literally what I did. Is I went and got a body fat scale, which I know I shared that with you. If I have this body fat scale that I can stand on, it measures my body fat and my weight, and my water, measures your water weight. And I literally every day would just in my mind say, I weigh, it was like 1 pound less. It wasn't like 25 pounds less. It wasn't like this affirmation of like 25 pounds less. Like when I weighed, at my highest, where I was like, okay, I've had enough of this, I weighed 224 pounds and just felt terrible. And so all I did in my mind was I thought, I am a person that weighs 222 pounds. And then I would weigh myself and I weighed 224 and I was angry about it. I was like, this sucks. So I would work out and I would watch what I ate. But every single day I thought I weighed 222 pounds. And then when I hit 222, and I don't think I've even shared this with you, Nate.
No.
I just kind of did this personally, internally, is when I hit 222, I thought I weigh 221. And in my mind, I just had the expectation of I weigh 221. And then it was like 2 days later, I hit 221. And when I hit 221, I said, I'm a person that weighs 220. And I hit that. And I literally did that it was like 27 pounds later of doing that, because I was in my mind focusing on just the next pound, the next pound, the next pound. It was literally, and once I got some momentum, I was losing like a pound a day, it seemed.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Whatever you're doing right now, you just stop this podcast, go back and listen to that part again, because Jeremy just dropped such a golden piece of information. What you did, Jeremy, is so awesome because you combined the idea of talking to yourself in the present. I love what you said. I'm a person who weighs, not who will weigh.
Right.
I currently weigh. And then you didn't say 180 pounds because your brain wouldn't buy that. You wouldn't have accepted that. But you said 2 pounds less, 1 pound less. And then you just did the consistent things that someone who weighs that amount or who is losing in that way would do, right?
Exactly.
Dude, that is so awesome. And that is such a great
time I did that. Yeah, it was only 1 pound. It was like it was 1 pound less because if I knew if I could incrementally just lose 1 pound, 1 pound, 1 pound, even over a 30-day period of time, that's 30 pounds. So, which is
totally insane. And I mean, like, I know that from August until today, it's been about 25 pounds. So that's a little longer than a pound a day, but still, if you think about how long it took you to gain the weight versus how long it took you to lose the weight.
Yeah.
That is a mind-blowing piece of wisdom right there, Jeremy.
Yeah, excellent. Because thank you very much. And it wasn't like I was losing a pound every single day through that 90 days. I would say that and think that, and I would lose nothing for weeks. It was like three weeks, probably nothing, until I got the momentum. And then when I had the momentum of my body was in a fat burning mode, is there was a period of time where it would go down a pound, down a pound, down a pound, and then it would stop. And then it would maybe go a little bit, but I still in my mind, it was only 1 pound at a time. It wasn't more than that,
And I love also that you're talking about plateaus and the fact that weight loss is not a linear process.
Exactly.
It doesn't just go like this, right? It goes like this, and then your body will, recalibrate and you'll drop a little bit here and there.
Yep.
But what you did is you said every single day you put into your brain, like, you're a consistent person. You're weighing 1 pound less, and you're doing the things that would make the biggest difference. So right. I got to say that is an awesome mental strategy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, just for those that are viewing it, I can show real quick on my trends. You can see, well, go ahead and ask me the next question. I'll bring it up here in just a moment so you're not waiting.
All right. So, I mean, that's so cool. I got to know though, in what ways have you felt like having this additional energy and additional focus from, dropping the weight, but also eating correctly and building your storage reserves with fitness? How has that impacted your business? What have you seen different in the last 6 months?
So in the last 6 months, I've found that one of my objectives for December was to optimize and automate my business. I took basically a little over a 2-week window where it was mostly family stuff, vacation. We took my wife and our kids, we went on a trip. We went up to the mountains and then went to visit my wife's family. And so we had this vacation time, but it was also time for me to think. And, I brought I have this planning journal that I use and kind of plotting out my plan for the new year and objectives and things like that. And I found that with this new energy and kind of a plan for myself, that I felt, I feel better. I feel more energy throughout the day. I feel less sluggish. I feel confident because I know that when I'm eating a particular type of food, that for some reason it's clicked in my mind that I know if I eat that it will do me no good, right? It might temporarily do something. And it's not like I'm 100% completely on track, but I know that I can slip off track, but I also know what I can do to get back on track. So it's been great.
That's awesome. And I know that automating and systematizing your business is a big task that requires a lot of focus, especially to minute details where you're having to do this one piece and then this piece and then this piece. You can't just do automation, right?
Right.
A lot of thought, a lot of planning. You need a deep level of focus to be able to do that correctly.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. Cool. And then I'll just show, if you're watching the video, you can see, this is from when I weighed 220, if you can see that.
Yep.
And then it just goes down. And like you were saying, it's not like a constant drop. Look at that. but it goes, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
But the trend is down.
Trending down. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. That's great. And man, I got to say, I love what you said. I'm a person who weighs 220. I'm a person who weighs 219. And then you acted on that manifestation you're saying. You acted that, you ate correctly. You
Yep.
worked out with consistency. Amazing.
Yep.
So Jeremy, if you could go back in time to 3 years ago when you were first starting off your business, what's one piece of business advice you'd give yourself? And then what's one piece of health or fitness advice you'd give yourself? I'd love to hear both of those.
Yeah, that's a great question. So going back about 3 years, you said?
Yeah, when you first starting off after you're finished college with graphic design.
Yeah. So in starting out my business, I guess one of the biggest things that I learned is that someone can have an incredible skill. They can have a passion for what they do. They can have an energy about it. They can just be the best in the world at what they do. But if you don't clearly have a simple path to acquire new clients, your business journey will not last very long. The ability to acquire clients on in a systematic process, I think, as in the place that I'm at right now, is got to be one of the most important things that you have to put a lot of your focus and attention on. And the reason for that is that a lot of people that I speak with that don't pay any attention to that, their business has grown fairly organically, which is fine. However, what happens is they have a service or a product that they share with someone else or they do for someone else. They get a good result, and then they get a referral from someone else, and they have a little bit of a snowball effect that happens with referrals. That's a good thing, and I think that's an important element, like a slice of the pie for acquiring new clients, but by no means at all. And when someone tells me, like, how's the majority of the way you get new clients, and they tell me, oh, it's all word of mouth, that's very concerning to me. Like, it should be, that's a good thing for long term. Number one is you can't scale that. You really can't. You can't scale having people spread more word of mouth about you. You just really can't. And then number two is, if it dries up, then what happens? Mm-hmm. And it does. It happens. It goes just like the weight skate thing that goes up and down. Sometimes you get referrals, sometimes you don't. And it's just it's a really dangerous place, I think, to be. And so you need to supplement that with a single focused area that you can consistently count on to be able to acquire new clients. That's what I recommend.
So you would tell yourself, hey, stop worrying about so many other things, and instead let's focus on systematically acquiring new clients.
Yep, absolutely. I'll summarize it with this one statement, and then we'll move on to the health. I was in a mastermind event, and someone shared a statement with me, because there's so many different things that we could be doing. We could post on Instagram, we could post on Facebook, we can post on Pinterest, and there's all these things. And I think it's okay to have a profile and have some kind of presence, but you should focus your energy on one platform until you've got it almost automated, and then maybe move to the next platform. And I was in this mastermind event with a lot of really high level entrepreneurs. And someone said something, there's 1 million ways to make $1 million, but you only need to do a few things really well to make $1 million.
I like that. Deeper, not wider.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're trying to do 1 million things at once, you won't get very far, because you'll either burn out or you're doing everything not so great.
I love the parallels between building a business and building your health, essentially building your body. I feel like there's so many good metaphors and things like that. So I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, like you were saying, they're going on and they're doing Snapchat, and then they're doing Instagram, and they're trying to figure out what filter and what hashtags to use. But if instead they devoted their time to really understanding just one platform and digging deep into that, that's going to make a much bigger difference long term, right?
Yep.
If you became a master of Facebook Live and didn't do anything else, and you knew everything about Facebook Live, you could use that as a systematized way of getting clients. Similar to if you became a master of knowing exactly how Jeremy's body responds to certain foods, like what it does with carbs, what it does with fats, how you should be eating before and after your workout, rather than jumping from the paleo diet to the keto diet to the Mediterranean diet, all these things. You get really deep on one, because all diets work, all exercise is going to work, effectively. As long as you get deep and be consistent with that thing and learn as much as you can about it, that's when you start seeing those high level results, right?
Yep, absolutely. So going into the health thing, if I could give myself, my own advice, is if I like to think of it this way, is if I owned a racehorse and the racehorse provides the money from winning the races, you don't feed your racehorse cheeseburgers, right? You don't feed your racehorse French fries before you go into a race, because that's your racehorse that's winning the race. And we're all in the race of life. And fortunately and unfortunately, the body that we have is the place that we have to live, and you don't have any other choices. And so why not take care of yourself the very best that you can? Stay hydrated. I mean, I knew that I was supposed to be hydrated until I started working with you and started really focusing. I've got this bad boy that I fill up, 3-4 times a day, and I'm drinking like 120 ounces of water a day. And it's amazing how little coffee. I mean, I love to drink a cup of coffee, but I don't need coffee all day when I'm drinking water. I really don't.
Right. So, it's almost more energizing than caffeine.
It really is. It really is.
And then caffeine, I love talking about caffeine, but caffeine can't even hit your body the correct way if you're not hydrated. So people pounding 6 cups of coffee a day, not drinking any water, are not doing themselves any favors.
Yep, exactly. So that's the advice that I would give myself is
I love it.
Running the race like a racehorse and treating my body in the same way and taking care of it in the same way.
Yeah, you wouldn't put regular unleaded in your Ferrari.
Exactly.
Dude,
and
awesome.
here's another thing is our body, and this is another way I've kind of started to think about it. Our body is like the house that we live in, and you don't have another house to live in. And so if the house that you currently live in right now, like your physical house that you live in, you wouldn't go, like dump trash on your own porch. You wouldn't like just throw trash all over the place. You take care of it.
Right.
So just like that, where you take care of the place that you live, you take care of your body, because it's going to be there a long time. You're going to have, when you get older, your quality of life is just going to plummet if you haven't taken care of it.
Right. And just like you said, you don't shit where you eat, right?
Exactly.
You don't, and I can't do good work if my surroundings are in just a state, like an appalling state. I can't do my best work if there's trash everywhere, if it's disorganized. Same way I can't do my best work if I'm not feeling good, if I don't have energy, if I don't have focus. So that's why I think that everything starts with your health, and you build, and that's your base. You build up from there, right? Especially for entrepreneurs and business owners like ourselves.
Yep, absolutely. And it's really a shame of people that, like, if you do this, I'm not saying you're a bad person or it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a tough thing. Is the only time you take a break and rest your mind, your body, is if you get sick. Like, why push yourself till you get sick and that's the only time you take a rest? Whereas if you actually let your mind rest, your body rest, recover, you don't get sick. I mean, I can't even hardly remember the last time I got sick. That's
awesome. But I think that's for so many people who are small business owners and entrepreneurs, it's that hustle grind # mentality.
Yep.
You got to work 16 hours a day. I'd much rather work 8 hours of really, really smart, focused work rather than this 16 hours of half-assed, attention divided, checking Facebook, my email every 30 seconds, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
time in motion.
Yeah.
Dude, Jeremy, thank you so much for all the wisdom you've imparted on us today. You did some really amazing stuff. I loved some of the things you said about the manifesting your weight, talking about your body like a racehorse. That's so important. So just real quick, where can people catch up with you?
For sure.
Are interested in getting their own book published or want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So my book publishing website is jonesmediapublishing.com. If you'd like to join a free community that we have, it's called The Book District. It's a place that we've created. It's basically a free Facebook group where if someone's thinking about writing a book, they're an aspiring author, if you're a coach, consultant, expert and you want to create your own information products, create your own books, programs, things like that, we have a free community where we provide free training, and you can get that at thebookdistrict.com. You just go right there. It'll take you right to the Facebook group.
Awesome. I'll put the links for everyone who's listening to this in the notes here. But man, thank you so much for being with us today, Jeremy. It was just so fun to talk to you. I really appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man, you're very welcome. You're doing some awesome things out there as well. And I just encourage all of your listeners to put an incredible amount of focus and attention on your health, because it's worth it and it's that important.
Awesome. Any hot take you want to leave us with?
Yeah. So I like to give everyone this advice, is to spend your time twice. And what I mean by that is plan your tomorrow today. So you spend your time once. Then when you're in your day, you spend your time twice by doing the things that you've decided and said that you're going to do. So that includes taking care of your body, taking care of your fitness, taking care of your nutrition. So you plan out what you're going to eat. And so that way you don't make bad decisions like I used to and still occasionally do. And then number two is planning out your business activities and what you'll do. And you'll find that you'll get more of the right things done by spending your time twice.
That is great advice. Awesome. Jeremy Jones, thank you so much for being with us, the Book District and Jones Media Publishing. I really appreciate you, brother. And we'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you very much.